whichever time you're watching this live stream. Welcome back, everybody. Welcome back, Crochet Squad. Welcome back to me. Welcome to another live stream of Quietly Crafted. It's so good. It's so good to be back. So I'm just setting up my live chat here. Just bear with me one moment. Um, this is actually my welcome back live stream. It's been a while. It's been a while. Um, in case if you didn't know, I was volunteering for the FIFA World Cup, and I just got back basically. Um, and and yeah, I have lots of stories to tell. Um, but I'm going to break it down to three parts during this live stream. As of course, we're gonna start off with something easy for today, which is my ever wonderful dishcloth. And then, of course, just like before, we always have our gratitude beads, starting with this one, a yellow one for every like in the live stream. We also have the green bead for a mindful quote, or for anyone who had subscribed to the channel. And finally, the rose gold bead for anyone who supports the channel through the Cozy Corner jar, which supports future content of this channel. So thank you so much if you do that. Now, we will start with our quote of the day. So, our quote of the day is: coming to what you love is its own kind of milestone. Welcome back to the stitches, to stillness, and to each other. And also, I have a few souvenirs, or a couple souvenirs that is. So I have this coaster in shape of a heart, and this is actually the logo from the FIFA volunteer, and it was given to me as a freebie. So I have this one on display. I also have my postcard here. It says "With Love, Toronto," with, of course, the emblem, and there's a little postcard um, of the host city poster city, if that's the right word. Again, this one here is, of course, the postcard that we receive. I actually printed this out because for some reason we only got the digital copy. So I put in an order to have these printed as a postcard. So I just have these on display at the corner of the live stream for today. Okay, so we have things to talk about, because again, um, this is my first day back into the live stream since I volunteered since I volunteered at the FIFA World Cup. So if you haven't seen my messages or my community post, I was volunteering, or I took a channel pause, that is, because I was going to be busy with my volunteer shifts, and the experience itself, it has been nothing short of amazing. So I'll take you guys back to the very beginning of that journey. So I applied back in August 2025. That's when the first release of the applications became open to basically everyone. And and what I've heard throughout our sessions is that out of the out of everyone that had applied within the host cities or host countries, that's Canada, U.S., and Mexico, there were over 1 million people that applied. 1 million people. And and it was such an overwhelming response that they said that this was the um, biggest pool of volunteers that they had to get to date. So I was waiting after the application day until I got an email in November where I was invited to volunteer tryouts. And during that volunteer tryouts, that was when you had to showcase your personality. So so I remembered I wore a yellow shirt with white stripes because my favorite color is yellow, and I think that I would shine with the color yellow. What we did during that day was we were toured around different artifacts uh, from uh, from the from the previous World Cup, which was in Qatar 2022, and then we had this team building event where we had to arrange these soccer balls that represented every single World Cup that occurred, including the one that was for this year, Canada, U.S., Mexico, 2026. And then once we were done all those, oh, and I forgot to mention that we also played a game of foosball. With the facilitators kept on telling us substitution, substitution. So right after that, the team building event, and we got shown around different artifacts. We are or each one of us had this one-on-one conversation with another volunteer because they wanted to get to know more about you. So so they wanted me to kind of emphasize what was going on, or not what was going on, like what do you mean by that? um and then funny story, funny sad story. So the volunteer tryouts was held in November 2025, and in the same month, hang on a second here, it's gonna fix this stitch. Now, within that same month, I was volunteering for the local Santa Claus parade, where I was dressed up as a beaver, head to toe. Now, while I was lining up to claim my costume, I said to some ladies at the back, I said that this is good practice for FIFA. Okay, and this other lady said that, hey, I also applied for FIFA. Then I said to her that I was invited for, or I just did the volunteer tryouts. The lady said, "Oh, when was that held? I never got an email." I took that as a sign, um, meaning that I may have made the cut and she didn't. So I took it as a sign that I made it through the next round and she did not. Don't worry, I didn't really brag about it. It's just that I think it's an accomplishment that I made it through. Um, then another period of waiting and waiting and more waiting. Um, so So after a period of waiting, eventually I got this email on a random day mid-March, and I was on a Discord voice chat with a couple friends. And then I get this email saying, "Congratulations, you were offered a role." That was my golden email that I I got an offer to volunteer for the FIFA World Cup. I was I was very, very excited, very elated, and and I had to break the news to my friends. I said, "OMG, OMG, um, breaking news! I just got the email from FIFA that I got the offer." That was a really, really good feeling. I had to also cut it off, cut the conversation early because that's when, as soon as I got the offer, they were looking for um, some of my important stuff, such as like background checks and other personal documents that they needed so they can conduct the background checks. And then of course, a week later, I was invited to go through role specific training. This is where I get to know a little bit more of what I need to do as a volunteer. And my role was actually the host city ambassador city engagement. Give me one second. Okay, so my role at the World Cup was host city ambassador, city engagement. So what that essentially means is that I am the face of the fans and also fellow volunteers. I get to I get to direct them, um, give directions, of course, and also I oversee the volunteers I'll be working with just to make sure that they're doing okay. If they need anything else, so it's kind of like a team captain. Um, now at first I wasn't really sure like what's going on or what we were asked to do. But then further down the road, we got to know what we're supposed to do, and we got a little more excited. And then also, let's just say the anticipation um, of the whole experience was building. So here's the thing. Um, after that session that I had, it's a little bit more waiting and waiting, and then eventually fast forward to, let's just say, late May. That's when everything started to kick in high gear. So so um so around late May, that's when I started getting more emails about what I need to do. So so this included this included the picking your schedule, and also getting your accreditation and the official uniform. We all of my volunteer friends were super excited. We're super excited um, when we were told of what the uniform's going to be looking like. It is like a blue. It's kind of like the same colors as the color on the postcard. It's blue, light blue, and our shirts are lime green, this green here on the postcard. And um and it looks very, very iconic. Um, if you want to see what it looked like, I do have a couple pictures posted in the community, and of course, I remembered walking in there at the volunteer HQ. That's when it all clicked that this is for real. This is for real. Like I could not imagine myself actually volunteering for something global like this. I I never thought I never thought that I would be volunteering for the World Cup and in my home country and in my own backyard. Oh my goodness. And I do remember being asked how excited are you, and I said I was stoked. So late May, that's when I got my uniform. And good morning to you too, Kareem. Nice to see you tuned in for today. um now of course, just before my first shift, um we were invited again to our venue specific training, which is basically getting to know where we would be, where we would be working around. So, so if you are from Toronto, Ontario, Canada, so the places that we were at is around the downtown core. So around the downtown core, which is the big station, Union Station. We were by the stadium. We were by the Fan Fest and other places in downtown. Um, there are some of us that were saying that we need that fans need to show their tickets and so forth. Of course, just to give them soft reminders that they're approaching the gates and security would be checking your things. And of course, I met many new faces along the way, and I was very appreciative of how they are, and I am very happy for them to have joined the whole experience. Because again, who would not be excited to um, who would not be excited to be a volunteer for the World Cup? Um, so I got the role specific training. I got my uniform and whichever else I needed to have. I got venue specific training, and now we fast forward to my first shift. So my first shift is basically um, I was standing around outside the big train station, Union Station, um, and that's how it's called here in Toronto. And basically, I was holding up a sign that has like the small letter or lowercase I for information, and I was asked a lot of questions. Some were asking about where to go to FanFest. Some were asking about the transit. Some were asking about where to buy jerseys or any merch. And there are some that were asking for just directions around the area. I know that that we were local volunteers, but at the same time, of course, we had to answer all the questions, and so even if it's not our job to do so. Funny thing is that where I was, it was actually right across from the office on where I was stationed at, where I worked at. And my colleagues actually spotted me and decided to take pictures, and also had a worse Waldo moment. Now, that was shift number one. Shift number two is my first time being at FanFest. And this is where basically my job became real. So I was assigned as team captain, and there were 20 people that I had to, or over 20 people that I had to see. And um, basically for that, I had to do my best because I never had to act as a lead before, or a captain. I know before I was assigned as captain, but I was a bit lousy. um, but at that point, I as soon as I was assigned team captain, I felt a sense of responsibility to take care of this 20 people. I had to I had to assign their breaks. I had to make sure that they're doing fine, and we just actually went with it. So um, so at that point, then we got to learn about what's going on, and also Team Canada was playing on that day. So it was a lot of red and white that was going on. Um, I think I messed up. 1 second. Okay, here it is. Okay. Okay, so I did mess up here. No wonder why. It was weird. So shift number two is in the books. And then I had some time to head to FanFest, because I wanted to take care of my friend. She also applied to be a volunteer, but she was actually rejected. So as a consolation prize, I decided to invite her to FanFest, and see what it's like for her. And then shift number three, that was um, that was actually during the rain, and I was still in uniform, but I felt like I was saran wrapped because I had my rain poncho on. A rain poncho was provided to me. So um, we still directed fans to the event. Um, my job over there was basically to remind people to show their tickets, and they were on their way. Um, and then of course, for the rest of the shifts, it was more um, of pretty much the same thing. directions, overseeing the volunteers that I had to take care of, and I had a lot of fun. There were a couple shifts where I experienced team marches, such as the one for Team Mexico. That was wild. I mean, it's so amazing to see to see a crowd of people, even though it was only about 400 of them, but all of them gathered together to cheer for Team Mexico. And then also I heard about the Portugal versus Croatia team marches. Um, knowing my local area, there are a lot of people that are Portuguese. Knowing that Team Portugal was going to be playing in Toronto, it was gonna be chaos. So I decided to actually leave the city to be with my parents at that time, the day before they did the march, and I heard that it was crazy. It was crazy. I know that I missed the hype, but my personal safety took priority than being part of the fan base. And then also I along the way I got to meet new people, I got to know them, and it was fun working with them um at all the shifts that I did 13 shifts. Actually, I did a total of 12. I was scheduled for 13, but the last one was canceled due to environmental issues. It was poor air quality, so they had to cancel all broadcast. So um, so now, of course, I did, or I actually watched the finals game with a friend, and we happily closed off the World Cup in in um, in a much positive tone. I feel like this was something that we needed because of everything that's happening in the world, the wars, conflict, and also the politics um, that is influencing our society today. Now, of course, I don't want to go political in this live stream, but I just wanted to point out that this World Cup that just happened, it brought everyone together. Everyone was saying that football or soccer brings people together, and which is very much true. Now, I'm not a soccer player or an avid fan. I'm more of the bandwagon where I just jump from team to team. Um, and and you know what? What I didn't know about it is how big the fan base is. I was very much surprised, and I learned a lot more about these chants, about about the community, the togetherness, the fans, and how it impacts the host city, the or even just the locals. And it gave me better appreciation of of the sport. Not to mention that it gave me a renewed purpose on volunteering again. I love volunteering when I was little. I always volunteered at the soup kitchens, at church, at school, at the university that I studied, or even at the college I studied. I always wanted to give my time and effort to the community I belong at. Now, of course, I'm not gonna I'm not going to have the same intensity as the FIFA World Cup. Um, I would just volunteer from time to time, whenever an organization needs some help from the local community, from the local citizens. If someone needs help in their yard sale, sure. If someone needs help in cleaning anything, great. If anyone um, needs ambassadors for their event, count me in, because I believe that it is important to it is important to to at least give back. It doesn't have to be in the form of money, but at least time and effort. Time and effort. Now, lessons that I've learned throughout this journey the is a sense of commitment and ambition and determination and the passion to do something. Um, the volunteering for the FIFA World Cup is not the first time for me for volunteering at a national or global level. It does take a lot of time and effort and energy to commit to something to this. There are some people, and myself included, had prepared for this, such as exercise, research about the local areas, and also more research on some on some aspects of culture, because then you would be greeting all sorts of visitors from around the world, and you want to make sure that they feel welcome. So this leaves me to another question. Would I do it again? And my answer to that is a definite yes. I would definitely do it again in a heartbeat when the opportunity comes. So the FIFA World Cup will now be heading towards South America for the sanitary match, Argentina, Uruguay, Paraguay, and then into western part of Europe, where it will be held at Portugal, Spain, and Morocco. So so I have 4 years to work on getting myself ready for that World Cup, and go from there. And now for the rest of the way, as I mentioned, this is my welcome back live stream. So I'm gonna take the rest of the live stream to just finish off my dishcloth for today, just like we always done before. Okay, so I'm just gonna come on the mic for a little bit here. So, in case if anyone doesn't know about this heart coaster, so this heart coaster, I received that as a freebie. This is actually from one of the freebies when I was a FIFA volunteer. So, just let me know in the poll, do you like this heart coaster? All right, everybody. So I just reached the end of my dishcloth for today. I decided to do something simple for my welcome back live stream. So to everyone who had tuned in for today's live stream, thank you so much. Again, I'm just coming back from my volunteering with the FIFA World Cup. Now that it's over, we are now back to our regular scheduled programming. So if you are new here, my name is Claire. I do these live streams every Saturday and Sunday at 9 a.m. to 11 a.m. Eastern Standard Time here in Canada. And and also I have a few things here. This is my heart coaster, and also I have the With Love from Toronto postcard. So again, to everyone who has tuned in, thank you so much. Before I close it off, I do want to recognize everyone who has liked the live stream. So there is 11 of you who did, and the two green beads are for the ones who had subscribed to the channel. It helps the channel grow. So thank you so much for the likes and subscribing. So I'm going to add that to the gratitude jar. And of course, just like I close every single live stream, just like before, until next time, keep crafting quietly. Thanks again, everyone, and see you again very